Hey guys, I'm working on a little project. I have a little bit of time today, so I'd like to try to put together a mixer that has two channels in here and here, and those are mono inputs. The mono input goes to two transformers through some 10K resistors to a mixing bus. Well, two mixing buses, left and right. So this input through this transformer to right, and through this transformer to left. This input through this transformer to left, and through this transformer to right, and then the right and left channel each has an output transformer to the output jacks. And then we've got some potentiometers adjusted by knobs on each one of those input transformers to further attenuate how much of this goes into left and right and how much of this goes into left and right. So in theory, we should have a passive summing mixer with isolation transformers where I can take two mono inputs and adjust how much of each of them come out on these stereo outputs. And there'll be, of course, a loss, so I'll be able to make that up after the fact with some sort of makeup game amplifier, probably a tube amp of some sort, a stereo tube amp. So anyway, I'm about to head down to the shop and drill the holes, so I laid all of the components out in their positions to see that everything would fit. And I took a picture with the camera so I know where all these are, so I'm going to go ahead and clear this out. And I need to bring with me one of the jacks and one of the potentiometers so that I can see what size holes I need to bring these up to. Okay, I'm down here in the shop. My jack. Got my width figured out here, and I have my drill index. Now we just go through and match up the size. So one up from that. Yep. So we're going to expand that one, and the two center ones up to this size so that the jacks can mount in those holes. Alright, there's all those. So I'm going to install all the panel mount stuff into holes. Alright, so those are all installed, and now it's time to install the transformers, and I think that is going to be a job for VHB. Okay, now that I have all the parts in place, I have to pick out a set of resistors, and there's 8 resistors, 4 of them on each channel. But the thing is, the resistors actually need to be very close together in value. So I've got my multimeter out, and I'm going through all of these 10Ks to find a set of 8 that are as close together as possible. Alright, jacks are not wired up yet, but all of the mix resistors and bus lines are in. Alright, so I finished wiring it up. Take a look under here. The last few wires in place. We're getting ready to test things. So, I'll walk you through the visual functionality here. Input 1, input 2, output left, output right. Input 1 can be sent to output left, output right. Input 2 can be sent to output left, output right. Now, one thing with these particular potentiometers that I had laying around is they're a bit strange. They're more of a variable resistor. Only 2 of the legs are working. So I was forced to do this a bit backwards. Turned all of the way... well, evidently something's working. Turned all of the way this way, there's a D10. So it clicks into place and it shuts it off completely. And the more you turn it this way, the lower the resistance goes and the louder things get. Right. Alright, so we're going to walk through all of them here, and I'll explain the setup. We have logic running. Right now there's 2 instruments turned on. One is turned to full left, one is turned to full right, and that equals channels outputting on 1 and 2. Now, Logic's outputs come out here, output 1 and output 2, into the summing mixer inputs 1 and 2. That's to the passive summing mixer that is just a stereo bus. So 1 goes to left, 2 goes to right, 3 goes to left, 4 goes to right, so on and so forth, down the 8 channels. The return from the summing mixer is here. And we've got that on the snake, yellow and orange. And note, yellow and orange on the other side of the snake. So coming from the summing mixer is going into inputs 1 and 2 on this. Outputs of this are on gray and red. And gray and red are patched in here as the inputs of the tube amp. The outputs of that tube amp, look at my cheat sheet here, are on 4th ones down. So here and then up to the top, and that's the line inputs for the other audio interface, and that's what we see on the speakers and on the oscilloscopes. So if I turn this up on this channel, we should see it on the scope. Okay, so channel 1 up here is coming in on this line, and I want to add it to left. So left, right. It is there. I can turn it down or up. Turn it up, and notice it's not over there. I'll turn it down. Right. Now we have it over there. Turn that one down. On channel 2, right. Turn that one down. Left. That seems to be working fine. So if I can add them both together on the left channel. Still nothing going on there. So these are a little bit counterintuitive because they're backwards. You know, they should act like volume knobs, but they don't. Just means I need to get some potentiometers that are better suited for this job. And also log pots. The ones that I had laying around were linear. So we'll swap these out for some linear pots that have all three legs connected to the track, and then we'll be able to switch which two legs we use on the potentiometer, and yeah, that'll make these run the right way, and it'll give me a lot more adjustment. You notice that almost all of the adjustment is in the last tiny bit. Almost all the volume changes right there. With a logarithmic pot, the adjustment, you know, will be more smooth across the whole thing. So there's that, and what I'm going to do here is give you an idea of what this track normally does. Alright, but I'm pretty sure you don't want to hear that through the camera audio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record a clip of it mixed down by the computer, like normal. And then I'm going to do a clip of it with those things that would normally be panned hard left and right, pulled closer to center by this device here in the mix. So you get to hear the difference between the computer doing it with the hard pan and all of the analog summing and transformers doing it in magnetic flux. And you can hear the difference. So the first clip will be summed by the computer. The second one will be summed by magnetic flux and resistors. Okay, here we go. Alright, so there's the results of that new tool that allows me to pan input channels closer to the center of the stereo bus. And I hope you enjoyed the little demonstration of that and the different sounds of digital summing versus analog summing. Alright, I'm going to get this video edited up and out to you guys. That's it for now. Bye.
We post videos all the time, so don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Twitter at TYMKRS.